In New York City, there's a world-famous art museum, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, commonly known as the Met. It's the largest art museum in North America and the fourth largest in the world. It's also the most visited museum in the United States and the fourth most visited art museum in the world. The Met is situated on the eastern edge of Central Park on the Manhattan's Upper East Side in New York City. It was founded in 1870 by a group of civic leaders, artists, and philanthropists who wanted to bring art and culture to the people of New York City so that New Yorkers could appreciate and learn about art from different cultures. They also sought to establish a world-class institution that would rival the great museums of Europe. The Met contains diverse collection of works of art spanning from Near East, ancient Egypt, classical antiquity, to American contemporary. The Charles Engelhard Court in the Met is a stunning space that showcases the museum's extensive collection of American monumental sculpture, architectural elements, and stained glass. It's named after Charles Engelhard, an American industrialist and a philanthropist who generously supported the museum. It is the grand vestibule to the American wing, which houses period rooms and galleries for American decorative arts, paintings, and sculpture. The north end of the court is anchored by neoclassical facade of the Branch Bank of the United States, originally located on Wall Street. 19th century marble and bronze sculptures from idealized neoclassical literary and allegorical subjects to Beaux Arts representations of human and animal forms are installed throughout the court. The court features architectural elements from various periods, including magnificent doorways, windows, and fireplaces that have been meticulously reconstructed to provide visitors with a sense of the grandeur in the European palaces and estates. The collection within the court includes furniture, tapestries, ceramics, and other decorative objects that offer insights into the artistic styles and the craftsmanship of different eras. Toward the American wing galleries, there's a sunken area just before the facade of the Branch Bank of the United States, with a gathering of statues. The smooth, white surfaces of the statues are all in the neoclassical style and made in the mid to late 19th century. All celebrate American mastery of an ancient style and art form. Evening was created by the French-born American sculptor Frederick Rockstall in 1891. Rockstall was known for his exceptional skill in capturing human forms with great detail and emotion. Evening is one of his notable works. It depicts a serene, contemplative female figure. The sculpture is often praised for its elegance and the way it conveys a sense of quiet introspection. Rockstall's mastery in sculpting the human form shines through this piece, as he delicately captures the nuances of the figure's expression and posture. Rockstall intended Evening to portray an ideal rather than a specific being. It illustrates his observation that everything in nature folds at evening. The voluptuous figure in a contrapuntal stance tucks her face under her raised, bent right arm, and her drowsy, distant expression suggests the approach of sleep. Diana was created by the Irish-born American sculptor Augustus St. Gaudens in 1894. This is a half-sized copy of the original version which was standing atop of Madison Square Garden's tower, one of New York's most popular landmarks, from 1892 to 1925. The resplendent gilded statue enjoyed iconic status on New York City's skyline. Diana, the Roman goddess of the hunt and the moon, artfully aiming her bow and arrow, poised on tiptoe. She is fleetingly static, depicted in a split-second moment of physical and narrative suspense. The figure's graceful, simplified lines and elongated proportions impress viewers from all angles. Ruth Gleaning was created by the American neoclassical sculptor Randolph Rogers in 1856. Randolph Rogers lived most of his life in Italy and was a prominent member of the Roman art community. Ruth was a biblical figure in the Old Testament, known for her loyalty and devotion. This masterpiece depicts Ruth kneels to gather wheat in the field to provide for herself and her mother-in-law, Naomi. Rogers skillfully captures the grace and the determination of Ruth in this sculpture, with attention to detail in the drapery of her clothing and the expression on her face. Ruth Gleaning is celebrated for its emotional power and its portrayal of a strong, independent woman from biblical history with both beauty and meaning. Nydia, the blind flower girl of Pompeii, was also sculpted by Randolph Rogers. It was the most popular American sculpture of the 19th century, replicated 167 times. The subject was drawn from The Last Day of Pompeii, a popular novel in 1834, which ends with the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. Rogers' evocative portrayal of Nydia highlights her heroic attempt to lead two companions out of the burning, ash-covered city. Her closed eyes and staff allude to her blindness, while her hand raised to her ear refers to her acute sense of hearing. The destruction of Pompeii is symbolized by the broken Corinthian capital beside her right foot. These are just a few examples of the fine sculptures in the Charles Engelhard court. Other sculptures in the court are Cleopatra by William Wetmore, Mexican Girl Dying by Thomas Crawford, Antigone pouring a libation over the corpse of her brother Polynices by William Henry Reinhardt, Medea by William Wetmore, The Libyan Sibyl by William Wetmore. These sculptures are depictions of women in tragic circumstances. Cleopatra is shown in her most vulnerable state, no longer the powerful ruler, contemplating suicide. The Mexican dying girl is anonymous, falling in battle, but will be saved in the eyes of aggressor, because she was converted to Christianity. Medea, holding a knife, is conflicted, frustrated, and grasping for control. The subject matter ranged from antiquity to Greek mythology to biblical history. They represent what was interest to the artists and the American public's perception of women during the 19th century. History is filled with powerful men. They are well documented in literature and art history. History is also filled with influential women. They just aren't documented as well as their male counterparts. The statues in the Charles Engelhard Court in the Metropolitan Museum of Art display beautiful and powerful female figures in the history of art.